Alright, so we are back with Berserk. And I might be liking the, Conviction arc? More than I expected. Not for any main reason, like, I do like the crazy religious trope. Farnese, whose name, I'm just going with that for her name. I've heard Fairness, I've heard Farnese. I don't know how you pronounce this girl's name. I'm waiting for her to something to be developed. I've been told she'll grow on me and that her character arc will be explored. I don't know if we're getting a character arc in terms of growth and she'll join our side, or if she's just going to spiral into craziness. And quite honestly, I'd be happy with either option. Guts is fantastic as always. I love that we're focusing on him having left people behind and focused on hatred and anger and revenge to drive him forward, keeping moving one step in front of the other, and how that's not a healthy coping mechanism to deal with trauma, but it's all he got for the time being. And now he's realized he'd left Casca behind, he left the remaining member of the band of the Hawk behind, when he could have had support and love around him if he stayed in one spot, but he really couldn't stay in one spot because, you know, demons coming after him, world possibly ending, details. But hopefully, if he's able to get to Casca, be reunited, and protect her, and I need her to get her sanity back, because I'm not a fan of the trope of sexually assaulted victim breaks down mentally and is no longer the same character she was before. I need her to come back to who she was before, but for the time being, she went through hell and all the trauma in the world, so you know what, she's allowed to dissociate a little bit right now. But I also love that the corrupted fetus thing is protecting her, but I need her and Guts back together and for them to heal together. That is what I want, for them to heal and move forward together. But I also possibly have a new favorite character. Don't get me wrong, I love Puck. And Guts is obviously awesome, and Griffith is arguably the greatest villain ever made, just in general. But I like Nina. I like this complicated girl. I like that she's selfish. I like that she's looking out for herself. I like that she resents that about her. I like how she's envious, jealous of, respects Luca. Like, she knows Luca is a good person. She knows this is who someone should strive to be, and she can't bring herself to do it. She has that fear of pain. She doesn't want to betray the people around her, the people who care about her and she cares about, but she got that self-satisfactory part to her character, and that's very understandable. Like, not many people are going to go into a torture dungeon or risk their own life for other people, and I want to see what happens to her. I am so invested to see, would she ever grow to the part where she would make an ultimate sacrifice, risk her own life for someone else, or if she would stay self-serving? There's no wrong answer, and you'll see me through it as I'm reading this. Just be like, no, I understand. That's fair. You know what? I wouldn't want to get my fingernails ripped off either. Can you really blame her for this situation? And I want her to find a reason to care for other people more than she cares about herself, but I don't know if it's going to happen. I can't wait to see it. I really like Nina, like, so much. But that's pretty much all I got to say so far. I'm halfway through this volume of Berserk. Cut to past Jessica, going through it in more detail, all the moments I loved. And a side note, I'm looking to start Vinland Saga, and I wanted to read the manga. So I wanted to finish Berserk before starting Vinland Saga, but I just finished Attack on Titan, and I need new anime to watch. But I've been told, no, don't watch the anime, start with the manga, which means I need a different anime to watch. So tell me if I should start the Vinland Saga anime. Otherwise, I'm going to put a video up with the other ones that I'm leaning towards to watch an anime for. But we're doing Berserk today, so cut to past Jessica reading Berserk. Alright, so we are back with Berserk, and I have made a little bit of progress. We start off with my favorite, most terrifying image, and that's going to be them on the wheel. Like, that is just a torture device that I did not know I needed to depict it in images because, by God, it's terrifying. I like that we're back in the camps and they're taking care of Casca. They don't know who she is still. And they're like, is she a witch? Those cult people really seem to be taken with her when she took over the powers. And then Luca, I keep forgetting her name. I love this girl. She charges out into the street when another prostitute is being dragged by the witch hunt people, executioners, heretic hunt kind of thing. And he's saying, don't you see, behold this large evidence. A large crowd watches, yet not one of them volunteers to aid you, as he's pelting her with stones. And I just said her name and I already forgot. It starts with the L. Lucia, I love her. I do. I will learn her name. Immediately charges forward, jumps on her, covers her with her own body, protecting her. Don't prattle on so proudly while you strike at someone from such a safe place. And everyone's watching, and he threatens to arrest her too. It's like, you're just using that as a threat. How can we ever be free if we can't speak our mind like this? You rattle your sword, judging people from up on the tower. Have you mistaken yourself for angels or something? Now, I'm not a religious person, but if you say that to a religious person, I got a feeling they're going to take issue with it. And the crowd is starting to look at him, judging. And he's freaking out. He goes to whip her, and who shows up but the black swordsman? Guts is there, catches the whip, and breaks it, cuts it. And he's ready to enact violence looking for Casca. It's like, hey, you those witch hunters I've been looking for? Because I've been told you're coming after my girl. I'm here to get her back. Immediately slices through all of them. Absolute delight. And the little kid, who I might learn his name eventually, he's a little pickpocket too. So he stole the keys for to untie the girl who was chained up. Cue Guts cutting through everyone like butter. He hears about Casca. Now these eyes, they're in multiple panels that I've read so far. Something or someone is watching. Are there other big bads? Like, is this Griffith? Is Griffith the only big bad that we're going to deal with? Or are there more? Are there other apostles that I need to be worried about? Or is it simply... The eyes don't feel like Griffith. But maybe they are. Curly-haired girl who starts with an N? Nina, maybe. Had been slapped by Luca for saying, hey, why don't we just abandon Casca? Well, they call her Elaine. Because clearly she's just going to invite more trouble. It'll get us in trouble. She got slapped for that, saying, I hold myself to a higher standard. I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I'm going to stand by my word. We're all in this together. And she realizes, hey, I don't want to abandon somebody like this either. I don't want to be arrested. I don't want to die. I also don't want to be alone. Why don't you come with me? So she's taking her out. So they're not there when Guts ends up getting to the tent. Therefore, they end up running into the crazy cult people who take them back to the cave. We do not like this. Image of just like burning. It's, what? Is this man like the greatest author ever? Like, they're artists, because it's so detailed. It's so perfect. Crazy religious lady in the Knights is just staring at burnt bodies. They're like she's possessed by the flames, essentially, watching it, mesmerized by it. Girl's boyfriend, as suspected, is alive, and he's taking them to the Heretics Cave, where Casca is about to be... Bad things are about to happen to her again by the one wearing the goat mask and the snake for a penis. It's not a good time. Everyone is naked. The curly-haired girl is about to be sacrificed for trying to betray them and taking Casca for herself. And I do like that later on they say something along the lines of, the horns are getting stuck. The guy with the goat head, that's like devil, he's trying to escape through a back way. It's like, the horns are stuck. I gotta take this thing off. So it's very clearly someone in a costume, and just the hallucinatory drugs makes him seem like he's an actual demon. But then you get those eyes on him as well, and he gets possessed by an actual demon. Is it Griffith? I don't know. But pickpocket guy who's been hanging around with Guts, who does not want to ask Guts for his help to train him to be a sword fighter. Instead, he thinks if he does enough good deeds or gets enough favors from him, he'll just help him without having to be asked, because he doesn't want to like lose pride asking, or he'll just steal the moves that he sees. So he wants to save Casca to get on Guts' good side, so he starts pelting everybody with rocks. And that's around the time the mark starts hurting and the demons arrive. At the same time, the Holy Iron Chain Knight people arrive there, and they're doing battle with who's coming out of the cave. People are getting ripped, like faces are getting eaten and ripped off. Demons are coming out of the cave. They're freaking out. Furnace is like, this is just like last time that when she had been kidnapped by Guts. And I love, okay, he's growing on me in this kind of scene. Like, look at his face. He's comical. He's like Puck, and I love him there and this art style. It's great. It's wonderful. So he's rescuing the girls. Then we get the goat head guy getting possessed. They're all after Casca, and that's when Guts shows up like a demon. on the battlefield. Puck had went to get him, to lead him there, and Puck breaks the sound barrier, coming back, rushing forward. You just see this little streak of light and guts, like the black demon behind him. Oh, people are in his way, and they're not in his way for long. And Ert. I want this on my wall. Let me just insert clip of me being upset that Casca is once again using a damsel in distress and sexual assault is being used as a plot device. Okay, we're moving past that because look at this. Oh my God, it is gorgeous. I want this on my wall. Can I paint it on my wall? Also cute, just maybe, I'm in love with, like, the page layout, because you have that gorgeous, gorgeous spread, and then it's, like, a focus on just, like, taking that extra second to show their eyes as they meet each other's gaze. Like, the time, just, like, devote an entire page to it. It's a very important moment, but there's so many times throughout the Berserk where just little moments are emphasized the way that I don't feel they are in some other mangas because the author's trying to get so much is going on, they're cramming so much information that they don't always, it doesn't feel to me that the story is given a moment to just breathe for a second. Like he's been rushing to her, he's been looking for her all this time, and now they're reunited. So showing them just looking at each other, that heartbeat of time is important to show, and I love it. And then you're back to the battle. So again, he's slaughtering through enemies like butter. It's wonderful. The goat guy gave him a little bit of trouble, but eventually they are able to get away. So the kid takes the two girls, Casca and the girl whose name starts with N, in a back way, gets away, climb across the hillside. That's when Guts goes to the guy who's like a fencer. What's his name? I should look up. Serpico? Him? I really like him. First of all, he's very pretty. Second of all, he's very smart and intuitive when it comes to fighting. Like, he's trained. He's not just some nobleman that is in this army, knight, brigade, whatever, because, hey, it's just what you do. No, he's been trained in this way, and we know he's got a history with heretics. His own family have been killed. I need more from him, and why he's so persistent in protecting fairness and her, I guess, honor, like, hey, you've upset her, you're continuing to upset her, so I guess I gotta take you out. So he's fighting Guts on the cliffside, taking full advantage of the terrain, Guts fighting style, and easily was able to avoid the bomb that Guts has, these little ones that can explode, dodge and pickpocket, steal one of the bombs, and use that weapon having only seen it once. Like, I really like this guy. He's also, like I said, very smart, so he knew he couldn't actually beat Guts in a fight after Guts punched his sword and broke it. What do you do to a man when you're fighting him? He grabs the sword with one hand, punches it with the other, and your sword breaks. The response to that is you leave this man alone. So that's what he does. He avoids him. He's like, yeah, I'm going to not get in over my head at this point. And now the kid who's the little pickpocket that was hanging around with Guts, the girl who starts with N, and Casca have all gotten away, and they lowered down beside the cliff, but they have now been kidnapped by the Holy Iron Chain Knights. And we're going to see what happens. I'm going with Guts is going to get them back. I've read like 4 pages, but I gotta say, Casca, like, taking Puck and, like, chewing on his head, and now they're in the dungeon, she just takes one of the pieces of straw, and she's, like, flicking it up and down in her mouth, as just like, killing time. It's hilarious, okay, it is. The girl whose name I will totally learn that starts with N and the curly hair, the people came in, it's like, we're gotta take one of you, and grabs Elaine, Casca, and she's like, no, I gotta tell them not to take her. Oh, but then they're gonna take me, and she's hesitating, she's struggling, she doesn't want to be taken to a, no doubt, torture chamber, but she doesn't want her to get taken away either, and the little one comes up, and is just like, wait, no, leave her, take this one. Your friend gets taken, and you say nothing. Yeah, I hate lowlifes like you. It's a tough choice. It was great character work. It was very hard on her. We see her mental anguish, the need to protect those that you care about and who you've taken responsibility for versus your own interests. It's an impossible choice. How dare you blame her for hesitating? Also, you gave her like not even 30 seconds. There's been like 3 seconds that's passed. Oh, God, I'm an idiot. Okay, I'll jump to why I'm an idiot in a second. So, what's her name? Okay, I'm going to look up her name. Nina. I wasn't wrong. All right, so Nina got brought to the torture chamber. She was channeling Luca, and it's just like, I will embody your power, your strength, how you would not betray someone you cared about, so neither shall I. Sees the inside of the torture dungeon. I would break before they pulled a fingernail off too. She told them everything, supposedly. Well, they said you bought your last day of life with the blood of your friend, so she's going back. And then Farnese is apparently going home because her father has called her back. She's blaming the fencing guy who I like, whose name I'm not looking up right now, starts with the S, and she ends up slapping him. Rude. I like him. But he's working for the family, but really he's sworn to her, so she says he might have reported her to her father. Then we get to Father Mogus. So the big bad executioner guy, and I look at his eyes. I see his eyes. I'm like, he's got the same eyes as the one who's been popping in and out of the chapters when we just see those demonic eyes looking at something and taking over demons. Of course it's him. How did I not see that? I'm an idiot. That's how come I didn't see that. I'm an idiot. Okay, so they broke into the castle. Luca is using Jerome to help them. I say using. He's helping. It's nice. They're cute. I might want them to get together and live happily ever after in Berserk. It's not going to happen. They might be happy for like a day and then everyone's going to die. But Nina here, they rescued her from the cell, and yeah, she's happy. Then they ask, where's Elaine? I mean, or Casca, Elaine, whatever her name is. And she's about to say, I don't know. She was just in the dungeon saying how I couldn't even withstand the torture of a single fingernail being torn off, but I couldn't help it. It hurts. Finger in the mouth, sucking at it to ease the pain. It's like, I don't want to die here. And then she's hearing this commotion, and now she's safe, and, well, as safe as she can be right in the moment. And they're trying to get out, and if she said, I don't know where she is, even though she knows she's in the dungeon, then maybe they could say, there's nothing we do, we just have to get out of here. We can't go aimlessly looking for her. But the Jerome is like, yeah, no, she's probably in the dungeon. Let's go down there. And she's upset. Like, is she upset that... I'm really upset. Anxious, worried, disappointed in herself. I don't know. It's kind of like the cartoony drawing where it's animated. And she's so hard on herself. But, like, the will to live and protect yourself is strong. And it's fair that you don't want to go to the torture dungeon that's now infested with demons after hearing your jailers just scream, monsters are coming, we have to get out of here, abandon the prisoners and run. So Casca had been taken down there, and lead executioner, inquisitioner, Mazgus, end up putting her in, like, the Iron Maiden. And I'm like, oh no! And Puck is coming with his little flower. I'm like, what are you going to do with that? But then, as the spikes are closing in on her eye and the merc, demons, something, globs, the blob appears around her, multiple of them, and it starts eating everybody. Farnese and everybody ends up getting out because it's too dangerous, but Casca ends up getting absorbed in front of Puck. But I feel like these demon creatures are friends with her corrupted fetus demon and are protecting her. So I feel like she's just encased and is being protected, is what I'm going with right now. But now, the rescue team is being faced with the demon things in the hallway, and it's terrifying looking. And Guts has kidnapped Farnese to take him to the dungeon to find Casca. So that's what's happening. Okay, maybe the eyes are not the Inquisitioner, buddy, because there's a weird spider-ish looking, alien-looking, squid-looking thing coming down from the ceiling, and it's might be the eyes that's been watching us, so maybe it's going to possess the crazy religious fanatic Mogus. I don't know. Casca's so pretty. Okay. What? The Mogus guy spit flames at the blobs that were dissolving people. The fetus thing protected Casca. Love that. Love him. And now Mazgus, that's how you say Mazgus, is holding Casca. And he's like, I have witnessed a miracle. Flames and fire, and everyone's freaking out. And they're like, you can't have her. And then they start fighting, and they're throwing chains, and they're falling out a window. The art is beautiful, by the way. And Nina is thinking to herself, I am holding Luca's life in my hands. They're like chain style. Like if she lets go, that's less weight. Therefore, they can get pulled up before everyone dies. And she's sort of considering it. It's like, I'm holding her life in my hands. What do I do with this? If I were to take these hands and her thoughts are cut off by Luca just saying, Jerome, take care of her. And Luca chooses to fall, chooses to let go, opening her hands. And Nina, haven't even thought fully of letting her go or whether or not she should hold on with everything she has, gets that sort of choice taken away from her as she falls and sacrificed to protect her. I need her to be okay. She hasn't finished falling yet. I'm scared to turn the page. Guts and Puck are also on the way to rescue. Oh, and Skull Knight is up on the roof. Can Skull Knight save Luca? And we get a dash down. Yeah, okay, no, she's in his arms. I didn't see her in his arms at first. Okay, Skull Knight has her. We're good. All right, found a decent stopping point. So we have Luca and the Skull Knight in a graveyard. So they're just corpses everywhere. She realizes that she's still alive. She's not in the world of death. She's calling him Death, though. And it's like, oh, I'm still alive. Cool. And does not respond to the mountain of corpses that is just around her. Like, I would be screaming, especially when she gets brought to a different dimension type thing. I think so. Everything just changed suddenly, and there's an altar of human bones and flesh and everything. And I'm just like, that's not, how are you not screaming, don't touch me, get away from me, but I do like that she's like, listen, I wasn't trying to kill myself. I wasn't doing a noble sacrifice. I just figured the roofs are a little uneven. One of them might have been made of wood. It might have cushioned my fall. I might not have fallen all the way down. So there's a chance I'd live. Maybe a couple broken bones. But no, I'm trembling. I really was just trying to save those I care about. And the Skull Knight kind of likes her for that. But then we get egg creature. It's an egg. So the eyes that have been watching us was an egg who has been turned into an apostle by the god's hand, I'm assuming. He calls them angels, but that's clearly who he's talking about. But he had been, I'm assuming, disfigured in some kind of way, ostracized from society, lived in what was a dumping ground for the castle. And he tried to intermingle with humans and other people on the surface, but they drove him away, chased him away, called him a monster. Rude. That's just rude. So he ended up digging a hole and just living underground and kept digging it deeper and deeper and deeper to get away from society. I mean, fair. But then they start throwing bodies in that hole, and he was crushed under the weight of the bodies of those disposed of the surface world kind of thing. And I'm like, damn. So he ended up getting turned into the apostle. He has the behelit. He is a behelit. But he's a giant egg with the faces. So now he is going to hatch and create a perfect world. And he's talking to Luca about how he observed her and Nina. And I'm going with, like, he senses the resentment. He sees the love and care and how she's looking after each other. But she is a light in the darkness, Luca is, that Nina is following, grasping for, can never live up to, can never stay bathed in her light, cannot possess, jealous of, and becoming hateful and resentful of. There's animosity as well as love, and that is life kind of thing in this hateful world. And it's confusing, and it's hard. And he wants to hatch and create a new world, which I'm pretty sure involves killing everybody in the old world. I am interested in seeing what he wants, because it sounds to me like this is just somebody who had a terrible, terrible life, died a terrible, terrible death, and wants to change the situation above. But Guts is fighting angels. Angels. They have wings. Are they mechanical wings? They kind of look, I don't really know what's going on. But the Inquisition people, torturers, I'm loving their designs, honestly. It's phenomenal. I love that they have wings. I love that there's 7 of them. Are they like the 7 deadly sins, angel forms, 7 heavenly virtues, something like that? I'm excited to see what kind of vibes we're going with. Oh, I did not give credits. Like, gotta give him his flowers. The little kid whose name I totally know, the little pickpocket guy who just wants to help Guts, so Guts owes him a favor. He calls the head executioner buddy Flatface, and I love that. I love that for him. Although, why has no one told that guy Flatface to like shut up? Because he's just spouting off religious zealot full force, and I'm waiting for someone to really punch him in the face. Guts is getting there. So he's fighting them. He headbutts one. He bites somebody's sword? Something? I don't know. Something breaks in his teeth when he's headbutting another one. And he's smashing through them, but he is having a little bit of trouble. Farnese is, like, doubting her own views again. Like, this can't be real. So I want to see, is she gonna, like, I don't see her seeing delay. I see her staying full crazy. I'm excited to see what happens with her character. But yeah, we kind of end with the thought of the hatching to create a new world, so I'm going to bookmark myself there. That's been a decent chunk of reading for today. I'm so happy to be back in the Berserk world, because it's well, I don't want to be, let's not go into the book. I'm happy to read the book, because traumatizing things are happening. All right, that's all I got. Talk to you later. Bye.